Have you ever met someone once and felt the shock of recognition, as if you'd known them forever? Their smile seems wiser, their silence seems deeper, their potential seems limitless. In your mind, they become a perfect, unfinished story. Meanwhile, the person who shares your space, who knows your routines, your flaws, can feel familiar, predictable, almost disappointing. The very things that should signify safety, knowing and being known, start to feel like a cage. This isn't a sign that you're broken or that love is a lie. It's a sign that you are human and you are operating a very ancient, very powerful psychological program, one that mistakes mystery for meaning and familiarity for contempt. Today, we're not just going to diagnose this cycle. We're going to understand its roots in your psychology, its philosophical implications, and how to step out of it. This is the mechanics of idealization and the path back to real connection.
Let's start with the stranger. Why do they hold such power? The answer is simple. They are empty. Not as people, but in your psychological experience of them. You have a handful of data points, a glance, a conversation, a social media profile, and between those points, there is a vast blank space. And your mind, abhorring a vacuum, rushes to fill it. But it doesn't fill it with random guesses. It fills it with your own unconscious material, your unmet longings, your dormant potentials, your idealized self. You are not seeing them. You are seeing a masterpiece of your own projection. Psychologically, this is a form of narcissism, not the grandiose kind, but the subtle kind where the other person becomes a vessel for your own story. They are the perfect character for your internal novel because you haven't read their author's notes yet. They haven't contradicted you. They haven't had a bad day, been needy, or left dishes in the sink. They are safe because they are not real to you.
Now, let's turn to the person who is close, the partner, the close friend, the family member. Why does the magic seem to fade? Because intimacy is a mirror. It stops reflecting your fantasy and starts reflecting reality. Their humanity, with all its inconsistencies, needs, and flaws, forces itself into your field of vision. And in doing so, it does something terrifying. It reflects your own humanity back at you. Their neediness reflects your own capacity for need. Their flaws hold up a mirror to the parts of yourself you disown. Their ordinariness challenges your fantasy of being saved by someone extraordinary. This is the devaluation. It's not that they became less, it's that the protective projection shattered, and you're left facing not a fantasy, but a real, complicated person, and the real, complicated vulnerability that comes with loving one. Philosopher Alain de Botton said, "We aren't seeking love, we're seeking an experience of being understood." The stranger offers the promise of understanding. The intimate person offers the labor of it. And when faced with that labor, we often blame the mirror for the reflection.
So, we live in this painful cycle. Idealize at a distance, devalue up close. Chase the stranger to feel the high of potential, then feel trapped by the familiar. This isn't a way to find a connection. It's a way to stay perpetually lonely in a crowd of your own projections. The core principle here is this: idealization is not a form of love. It is a form of control. You control the narrative of the stranger. You cannot control the reality of the intimate.
And this creates a profound letdown, a hangover from the fantasy. We think the problem is that no one can live up to our standards, but the real problem is that our standards were never about a person. They were about an idea. We set up a game that reality is biologically designed to lose.
How do you break this? The goal is not to stop seeing the good in strangers or to blindly accept the flaws of those close. The goal is to transfer your energy from the fantasy to the real. It starts with a simple question of awareness. Am I projecting or am I perceiving? When you feel that pull towards a stranger, get curious. Ask yourself, what missing piece of myself am I seeing in them? When you feel disdain for someone close, ask, what uncomfortable truth about life or about myself are they forcing me to see? The practice is the practice of presence. It is choosing to see the person in front of you in their mundane, glorious, contradictory reality. It is looking at your partner when they're telling a boring story and searching for the human behind the habit. It's finding the mystery not in the unknown, but in the infinite, unfathomable depth of a known person. Because the ultimate philosophical truth here is this: real love isn't built on a pedestal. It's built on the ground, where two people can see each other clearly, not as gods or disappointments, but as fellow, fragile humans doing their best. The stranger offers the fantasy of a perfect ending, but true intimacy offers something rarer: the courage to write a real, imperfect, and beautiful story together.
Turn towards the real. The fantasy is a lonely masterpiece. The reality is a shared creation.